when you're trying to create an object, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say I am trying to create a new custom object, and I named it as schedule, like what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And this is schedules and save. What happens is, by default, it takes your object and appends name to it, schedule name. See,
Yes,
so
yeah.
the API
Is
name,
that
it's
yeah?
name only. So if you
Okay.
don't want this to happen, what you
Mm-hmm.
could do is, either you could change here
Mm-hmm.
and give whatever your name want. If you want just name, you can give name or name of schedule or whatever you want. You can do that and change the type as required.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you want to
Yeah. I
do
have
it,
given that interview schedule. I mean, like I renamed it like interview schedule.
okay.
Um.
So if you don't want that to happen directly,
Mm-hmm.
so I
Mm-hmm.
was just trying to create a schedule interview as a new object name, and this
Mm-hmm.
as schedule interviews. Now it will get created as schedule interview name. If I don't want that
Mm-hmm.
to happen, I just wanted to see, it gave me already
Mm-hmm.
schedule interview name.
Oh, okay.
So here is the
Mm-hmm.
place where you could change it whatever you
Mm-hmm.
like interview name,
Okay.
whatever you want to give, you can give,
Mm-hmm.
and save the record. And
Okay.
so I'm not sure if this was being discussed. Since we are in this particular page, we can
Mm-hmm.
we'll just add more content to here. So
Okay.
these things, the name of the
Yeah.
record,
Yeah.
data
Yeah.
type, auto number or text and all.
Mm. Yeah.
But this section probably it was not discussed. Let's see what is this.
No.
So
Yeah.
I love reports. So Salesforce
Mm-hmm.
has a feature called reports for each and every object you can create. Generally,
Mm-hmm.
what information report holds? A report holds some detail. You like, see, you wanted think that you have developed the recruitment application. After 30 days of the recruitment, the HR
Mm-hmm.
want to see how many candidates have cleared the interview, how many
Mm-hmm.
interviews has been conducted, and how many interviews has been failed.
Okay.
Like failed in the sense how many people could not clear the interview.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay.
typically, Salesforce comes up with a standard object called reports, wherein you can
Mm-hmm. Okay.
see each and every report. Like you can create a report for any object.
Okay.
This would be discussed in detail later, but for now, you can say that there is something called reports and dashboards. So dashboards are
Mm-hmm.
nothing but pictorial representation of reports. Like,
Okay.
say I
Dashboard.
have
Oh,
developed a
okay.
report that 100 people have attended the report, attended an
Mm-hmm.
interview, 90 has passed and 10 has failed. So if
Okay.
I have to show the same in a pie chart, like a circle, pie chart, right? A circle where you
Yeah. I
see the
know.
percentage.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
similarly, if you want to show that report as a pie chart, you go for a
Mm-hmm.
dashboard. Dashboards are nothing but a pictorial representation of a report.
Okay.
So let me show you a sample report which is already there. Like it comes by default, but if you want to create,
Mm-hmm.
you have to select the object, you have to select the fields, what you want to show and what not to.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Okay.
yeah, this would be discussed later when we actually see the reports. But for
Oh,
now, reporting is nothing but you summarize your data, you create a
okay.
report. So uh, if you say allow reports, this particular object which
Mm-hmm.
you are going to create,
Mm-hmm.
you could report on this object. Like you can see an option when you say new report, it will ask you on
Mm-hmm.
which object you want to create a report. Accounts and
Okay.
contacts, opportunities, leads and all other
Mm-hmm.
objects also you could see in this lookup when you type.
Okay.
Probably I have not checked it when I created a schedule object, because
Mm-hmm.
default is off, right? So
Yeah.
it might not been shown here, but if you check the
Mm-hmm.
checkbox, then you are allowed
Mm-hmm.
to create a report over it.
Okay.
So the report is always on the data. The data is nothing but
Mm-hmm.
the records you create under that schedule object.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
so this feature allows you to create reports on whatever object you're trying to create. Allow
Mm-hmm.
activities. Activities in the sense, uh, activities. I'll just show you. I have to show you here. Activities are nothing but task, event. You could see. sidebar here, right? Activity, this activity, task, log a call, event, and email.
Yeah.
So if you are going to create a task for this account, it is called an activity.
Mm-hmm.
Log a call, activity. Event, it is an activity. Email, if you are trying
Mm-hmm.
to send an email, even that is called an
Mm-hmm.
activity. So
Okay.
activities are something related to the record. Whatever action you do, that is called as an activity. So generally,
Okay.
you create a task on an activity when you want to do say if you have to follow up with him after
Mm-hmm.
20 days or 10 days from now. Like after 10 days from
Mm-hmm.
now, if you want to check the status of the account and mark it as
Mm-hmm.
expired or not, you create an
Okay.
activity from 20 days from now, and you do appropriately. So in the task or activity, you could see the related fields like subject, you can enter whatever you like, follow up with customer, due date, like when are you trying to perform this activity, it is on, assume I have the due date of today itself, and
Mm-hmm.
on whose name is this activity has to deal with. Hmm, sorry, it's the contact name I have to select. So test, I don't have test. Okay, this is not a mandatory field, I'll ignore for now. But so this is related to tells that about
Mm-hmm.
whom you are going to perform this activity,
Mm-hmm.
and assign to tells that who should perform this activity. Like assume
Okay.
I am the customer care executive and you are my customer,
Mm-hmm.
I have to do something related to you, and who would be doing,
Mm-hmm.
I or someone who is from whom you brought a product.
Yeah. Okay.
And status is like in progress, started, or whatever. So the good thing around activities is it will notify you you have an upcoming task today, upcoming and
Mm-hmm.
overdue. So if it is
Okay.
past due, it will alert that you have an activity pending, which you have which you are ought to complete, and which has not been
Mm-hmm.
completed. Sometimes people tend to forget, right? So it's sort of a
Yeah.
reminder. It will tell you that you have a pending activity. See, it is
Mm-hmm.
highlighting that yesterday is the overdue. It's been, and you're still supposed to complete this activity. So activities
Yeah.
are
Okay.
some actions related to a record which you perform. And log a call is nothing but sometimes you have to call a customer. Assume I'm a
Mm-hmm.
call center agent, and
Mm-hmm.
for some reason I have to like you have raised a ticket, and
Okay.
like not every time you directly get a chance to speak with a customer care agent. Sometimes you submit a query in the website and they call
Yes.
you back. So you call
Yeah.
me, you have submitted a query regarding a ticket and regarding a failure of a transaction, take it like that for now. So
Mm-hmm.
the customer care executive have has analyzed the issue, and he'll call
Mm-hmm.
back telling that uh, this was the reason for which your transaction has failed. Okay,
Okay.
so he'll tell that, and in the comments he'll put that ticket id which you have created, ticket number 1234, and comments as ticket has been resolved because the transaction has failed because of so and so reason, and he'll save that call outcome, like whatever conversation has happened between you, he'll log that call and he'll save that record.
Mm,
Any questions or
no.
so uh,
Oh, how could we add this activity layout in our object?
you have that in
Does
page
it?
layouts or
Okay.
lightning record pages, you can do that. But first thing was,
Mm.
until and unless you don't check this checkbox on the object itself, you cannot see that activities
Yeah.
panel.
Okay.
First thing
Mhm.
was it has to be there in the in the object permissions,
Object.
only
Yeah.
then
Okay.
you can able to add it up. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
since log a call is something like you are calling the customer right now and you're putting the outcome, it
Mm-hmm.
will not have a due date. It's not like a
Mm.
following up, you're trying to following up something. It's like you're just
Yes.
tracking what conversation has happened between you and customer. But this is like
Oh.
something that can happen in the future, like call a customer after 20 days of the service. Like
Mm.
sometimes, right, when you visit
It's
a
like a
doctor,
reminder.
yeah, sometimes take a situation of the COVID, like some
Mm-hmm.
hospitals you took a first dose of your COVID vaccine, and after 84
Mm-hmm.
days you are out to take a second dose. So you might
Mhm.
tend to forget, right? What hospital nurses or staff they do, they create a task,
Mhm.
they'll just tag to whom this task is related to and who should be following up,
Okay.
and due date. So due date would be 84 days from now, and he'll save the task so that just before two
Mhm.
or three days he'll receive a notification. Or if he tends to forget, he says that you have forget this one, please follow up with him immediately and finish up the task.
Okay.
And the notifications appears here. Right now I don't have anything, but
Mhm.
the reminders and notifications comes here, like you have pending
Okay.
action to be done and all.
Mhm.
So there is something called new task. Log a call is nothing but you log your conversation between a customer and the customer care representative. And events is nothing but sometimes say I'll take the example back for a COVID mega vaccination drive. So you have been my
Mhm.
loyal customer from so many years, you've been visiting
Mhm.
for regular health checkups and all. So what I would be doing
Mhm.
was, I create a event. When I create an event called mega vaccination drive, the start is from the next 2 weeks it's going to happen. So what I would like to know my customers was, so the event is more like something that is going to happen and he wants you to attend. It can be within a day or
Mhm.
between days, like multiple days.
Mhm. Mhm.
So you find a difference between task, call, and event, right?
Mhm.
Or is it seeming confusing between these three?
Event is like someone is like giving the information about the something, right?
So
Someone is
event is
giving
not,
us.
it could be a session, it could be anything based on your business. Like
Mhm.
if I'm dealing with a hospital business, my vaccination drive is an event. If I'm dealing with
Mhm.
cars, so sometimes they have
Mhm.
a flash sale going on.
Mhm.
So that is an
Okay.
event. Or sometimes a new product launches. So they just
Mhm.
give the features of it. So that was an event. And if
Mhm.
you take uh, colleges and all, they have an event
Mhm.
for different courses like webinars, seminars and all.
Mhm.
So that is an event is more like a meeting or meeting or anything.
Mhm.
But log a call is just
Mhm.
just like one-on-one conversation, and new task is nothing but an action that can be taken in a future or
Mhm.
immediately.
Okay.
And email is something like if I have to send an email uh, from right from the Salesforce to anyone related to this account, I can right away
Mhm.
do it from here.
Okay.
I'll just type in the to whom I want to send, and the subject on what I am going to send. Like I just created an event, so I'll just copy this link, event details, and paste it here and send an email.
Mhm.
You do not have to go to a
Mhm.
different place to communicate to the customer that about the details of this event.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay.
So first thing where we are coming from is that you have to check that checkbox called allow activities, and only
Mhm.
then you could see activity tab here.
Okay.
So new task, log a call, new event, and email, all these together called as activities, because you're trying
Okay.
to perform something around like task,
Mhm.
call, event, and email.
Mhm.
And now comes something called chatter.
Okay.
Okay, I have created mega vaccination drive. Okay, on
Mhm.
and this was under this record.
Mhm.
Okay, some my manager says after 3 to 4 days, hey, look, there is a change in plan.
Mhm.
This is postponed for now. See, instead of a manager and someone his subordinate communicating between emails, right? If he posts his
Mhm.
update here itself, they come to
Mhm.
know that what the real updates are. So chatter is nothing but chatting, like chatting internal to the org. Like as a customer you
Mhm.
cannot enter here and chat. Only the employees
Okay.
who is internal to the Salesforce, they can
Mm-hmm.
chat around this, like assume you have WhatsApp, someone posts something on your group and people starts
Mm-hmm.
discussing about it, right?
Yes,
Thumbs
yes.
up, smileys, and all. The same thing, someone posts something around this record, which is to be done,
Mm-hmm.
and people can discuss. It's a form. It's a sort
Mm-hmm.
of a discussion forum where people could exchange their ideas, comments, and like provide their updates around some event or whatever it might be. They can give a thumbs
Does
up.
this events like visible to everyone or only for you?
Again, so whatever that has been created here, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's been tied to this record. If someone has access to this record called
Mm-hmm.
or this name, if someone has access to this record, they could see activities around this record. If someone don't have access to this record, they cannot
Mm-hmm.
ever see this record because uh, activities are more tagged to this person.
Okay.
It's not an independent entity.
Mm-hmm.
So so not everyone can access, and this could be discussed around when we discuss the topic called sharing
Okay.
and security. That's when
Mm.
you realize
Okay.
that how a record could be shared, what a person can view and what not. So for now,
Mm.
activity is something you do around this record, and chatter is nothing but you chatter or you start a discussion around. Like sometimes I can chatter can be again three types: post, poll, question, and
Mm.
they can create a post and discuss around it. They can create a poll like audience poll you have, right? So choice one, choice two, and all.
Mm.
And they can create a question here like uh, being a manager, sometimes I can post, why is this customer not active for last 30 days? So who is
Mm.
the owner or who is tracking this account replies that he's on leave or he does not want to continue his membership or whatever. So the main
Mm.
intention around this was the people like should not they should like they don't want to go elsewhere to discuss around this record. It's a one place
Mm.
where they could discuss everything else.
Mm.
He sees something here, then he goes back to his email and sends an email to his subordinate, then his subordinate responds back to his Gmail, then he comes back.
Mm.
So this is like working like running around the same thing over and over, right? So rather
Yes.
this is like a one stop portal where everything could
Mm.
be done from the very same place.
Okay.
So bringing you pulling you back to that custom object section. So this is allow activities and allow.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have track field history.
Mm.
So what is track field history? So today there is a record called this record, and
Mm.
I changed his name because since a customer care representative has access to your record, does not mean
Mm-hmm.
he can do whatever he wants. He cannot change your first name to ABC. That's not good.
Mm. Mm.
So assume someone did that. So how will you
Mm.
know that? One is by modified by.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
the
Okay.
issue around going by modified by was first I have made a change to his name ABC, which shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
happen. But later some
Yes.
other person found that there is no phone number on your record. So he took your phone
Mm-hmm.
number and gave some
Mm.
valid phone number.
Okay.
So now the last modified by would be on this person's name who changed your phone number.
Okay.
This is a legal action or a proper action, and someone who changed your account to ABC, that is not a proper action.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh
you don't
yeah.
see this person's last modified by name, you only see this person's last
Yes.
modified by name because this is the last
Okay.
recent action.
Mm.
But now
Yeah.
I want who has changed your name to a proper legal name to ABC.
Mm.
So you want some sort of auditing, right? How who did what. So
Mm.
that could
Yes.
be done through field tracking history. Track field history tells you that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you check
Mm-hmm.
this
Okay.
checkbox,
Mm.
actually you can configure what fields you want to track. Like main fields, right? You don't want to track each and every field, or nor that is
Yeah.
allowable in Salesforce. There is certain limit on how many fields you can track per object.
Okay.
So around key fields on account,
Mm-hmm.
like name, phone, website, or email, if someone changes, I wanted to track who has done that, and what was the prior value and what was the new value.
Okay.
So for that, what I'll be doing was, I think for standard objects, this is by default available. All we have to do was set history tracking.
Mm-hmm.
So when I check this, like enable account history, it will ask me on what fields
Mm-hmm.
you want to track the changes. I want to track account name and email and phone. That's all I would like to track. You can configure as required, but for now I'll be tracking the phone changes around the phone and changes around the
Mm-hmm.
email, because I treat this as some main critical field for my business. Okay, I don't find that, but okay, consider only these two fields I'm going to track for now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so two things you did here was you have enabled history, like field
Mm-hmm.
tracking on the account. Then you have configured what fields you're going to track. Like
Mm-hmm.
now, if you come to page layout, and you have something called the related account. I'll tell you what relateds are, but for now, you just see what's going to happen. And so you could see something called account history. Like if you do it
Yeah.
for, if you enable history, like tracking history for contact, it will be contact history.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
you'll just drag that history element to this related list, save the record. Once this is done, since now the field tracking is enabled around the name field, if I'm going to change this name or phone number, I'll be able to know what has been changed. I changed it
Mm-hmm.
to ABC to BCD, and now I come here. So if you see on which date
Mm-hmm.
the action has been performed, on which field,
Yeah.
who has performed, what is the original value, and what is the new value.
Yes.
So incidentally, unknowingly or unknowingly, if someone changes the values around name or phone, since these two fields are being tracked, it will just show up who has made the change, when, and what was the value prior to it, and what was the new value. And I can add,
Mm-hmm.
like, the other good thing was I can add this old value back, because I knew what was the old value.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something called field tracking.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So hope you are clear with this. Like first you enable tracking on the object, and then you configure the fields you want to track.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And there is around 30 or 40 fields at max you can track per object. Like assume you have 100 objects, 100 fields on an object.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
cannot track every field.
Okay.
Only like those set of key fields which you
Mm-hmm.
want to, which is very sensitive for your business, you'll be tracking it. So
Okay.
yeah, that was around the object level. Like you can enable tracking, field tracking, you can enable activities, and you can enable reporting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so yesterday we have discussed around field relationships, page layouts, and compact layout. Hope you have understood
Completely.
what compact layout is, right?
Yeah. 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 I have tried it. Yeah.
Okay, did you
Good
happen to
with
create
it.
a new compact layout and see?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So just a small question on the compact layout.
Mm-hmm.
I have the first field as account name in my compact
Mm-hmm.
layout. Okay, but
Mm-hmm.
see the layout is also called as highlights panel. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because it is showing the highlights of this record. It is also called highlights panel. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I have created a compact layout, and it has account
Mm-hmm.
name, DNB company, type, phone, website, and these fields.
Mm-hmm.
If you see DNB my highlights panel is starting with DNB company, ending with account site. DNB company account site. Where is the account
Yes.
name?
Yes. Mhm.
Where is account name then?
It is I mean like first line BCD.
Yeah. So always the first field. It's not like account name, but if you configure
Yeah.
DNB here, right?
If
Always the first field
yeah,
appear right
anything.
below this
Um,
content, and the rest of the fields
mm,
appears here.
yeah, why it is appearing in first line?
That was standard
That first
Salesforce
field.
behavior. That's how they configured it.
Okay.
Because account
Mm-hmm.
calling it just an account does not make any sense, right? So
Okay.
Salesforce is allowing you
Yeah.
to give a unique identifier to this account. Some call it as account name.
Mm-hmm.
Some would like to configure the phone number to identify this record
Mm-hmm.
uniquely. Some with their
Mm-hmm.
manager, whatever, or some with
Okay.
their company name, because account can have
Mm-hmm.
a
Okay.
name and a company tag to it. So based on
Mm-hmm.
that,
Okay.
it's just allowing you to configure or identify this account, because
Okay.
this has been highlighted, right? So you cannot scroll down till here every time to see the account name. It is right away you can see the key
Mm-hmm.
fields and what's the account here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So and you can create any number of compact layouts and assign it to a user through this
Okay.
assignment called compact layout assignment.
Mm-hmm.
You can assign a system default, or you can create and assign it here. Okay. Hope we haven't seen buttons, links, and actions, but
No.
for buttons, links, and action, right? Generally, as Karthik told you yesterday, all these are called buttons,
Mm-hmm.
and you can also create a URL, and you can also create an action here. But buttons, links,
Mm-hmm.
and action is something related to customization. Like when you create a button, right, you can tag it to a visual force page or aura page, and like
Mm-hmm.
I want to open a custom page when I click on a button. So typically, right, your custom page requirement is not known to Salesforce what you are going to build. So that's the reason he has provided you a button, and on click of a button you can show your component whatever you want to show.
Okay.
For now, we'll hold it back and we'll discuss it
Mm-hmm.
when we start discussing around visual force page or aura components.
Okay.
Compact layers you discussed, and field sets also it comes in aura or visual force mostly. For now, you can see that you can take it as the name suggests, field sets. When you want to bundle some set of fields together
Mm-hmm.
and you'd like to
Mm-hmm.
access it through code for your any kind of operations, you create a field set.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Field set is nothing but out of 100 fields which is available, since you're going to use 100, out of 100 only 10 you're trying to bundle it, give it a name and
Mm-hmm.
access it through
Mm-hmm.
the code and perform your operation whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then comes the object limits. So each and everything comes in Salesforce with some limits. Yesterday you have seen the storage limits, like in developer org it is 5 MB per data
Mm-hmm.
and 5 MB per file storage, like that, something like that. And again
Mm-hmm.
it depends on edition. Since ours is a developer edition, it is very less, and for enterprise editions, it and unlimited edition, it will go up to 1 GB at max. 1 GB file storage and 1 GB
Mm-hmm.
data storage. Not to confuse between
Okay.
data storage and file storage. Data storage is nothing but the record count. Assume if
Mm-hmm.
each and every record you create is of 2 KB, and on the whole, if your org has 10 objects and 200 records, so you will be consuming 400 KB, right?
Okay.
That is a normal data storage. When it comes to file storage, it is nothing but it deals with attachments. So attachments are nothing but you can upload a PPT, Excel, whatever, or some
Mm-hmm.
PDF or some invoices here related to this account. So when you do so,
Okay.
everything you attach would count against file storage, not the data storage.
Mm, okay.
Okay, there are two things: file storage and data storage. Data storage is pertaining to your records, and file storage is pertaining to your attachments, whatever you tag it here. So
Okay.
likewise, there are some limits on how many fields you can create an object, and how many lookup filters you can have and all. How, okay, if you see the
Okay.
custom fields for this object called account, I have created
Mm-hmm.
8. The limit is 500, the used is
Mm-hmm.
2%.
Okay.
Because so that you are aware of where you are standing around these objects. Say you have reached 100 and you're trying to create a new field and you cannot, you might not understand why it is blocking you, right? That time you come here
Mm-hmm.
and see what limits you have already consumed and how much is balance for you. So then you think of alternatives, how you can achieve this purpose of creating a new field, like one field. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So why these limits again? Because as we discussed, Salesforce is a multi-tenant architecture. Like it's not
Mm-hmm.
just you who is living on the server. There are many other applications living together there. If you consume more
Mm-hmm.
number of resources, like more file storage and more data storage, others would be
Mm-hmm.
left nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
just to make sure that everyone gets the equal share in a single server they're trying to use, they just brought these limits out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now comes what are record types. So okay, for now consider account as mm, okay, I am doing business. Assume I am a Sony
Mm-hmm.
company. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I developed this org for Sony. Okay,
Okay.
and I deal with distributors, I deal with retailers, I deal with partners. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
when I'm going to capture data for distributors, right, I'm going to capture a
Mm-hmm.
different detail. Like distributors are someone uh, who work on my behalf, sell my products, and partner with me, sell my business. Distributors are they, those ones.
Mm-hmm.
And wholesalers are someone who are going to buy bulk from me, and retailers are someone who buy one or two quantities from me, not in bulk. True.
Yeah.
And I want to track different information for
Mm-hmm.
distributor, different information for retailer, different information for wholesaler.
Okay.
So if that is the case, you cannot say
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like you cannot use a single same set of fields for for all the three kinds of people, right?
Yes.
Because you want to show different fields for different purpose.
Mm-hmm.
If you remove, see, you have only one screen here. Okay, if you remove, see, I don't want one field for distributor, whereas I want other field for retailer. What happens if I remove this field, industry field, for distributor? Because I don't want it for retailer. Retailer does not belong to any industry, only distributor belongs to some
Mm-hmm.
industries. So I removed this
Mm-hmm.
industry field from layout. So this industry field
Mm-hmm.
will be gone for all the three kinds of persons.
Okay.
I don't want that to happen.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't want someone's change to impact someone others, some others.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'll be doing is I'll be creating three page layouts and assigning it to three record types.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So record type is something which will be shown when you click on new or edit. Okay. Particularly
Mm-hmm.
when you click on new, you tend to realize what record type you're going to choose. So when I click on new, it is showing me nothing. So what is this record type? This we call it as a default record type, or master people
Okay.
call it as. So each and every record has a record type. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't see any record type, you call it as default or master record type. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now we'll actually see how record types would be, and then you'll realize how it's going to function. So existing record type, what it's saying, master.
Mm-hmm.
So What do you mean, what do you mean by this? Means there is already an existing record type which is called master on this. So
Mm-hmm.
if I create a new one, it will show up here. Like uh, I can choose a template by which
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to create a record type. So now I am going to create
Okay.
a record type called distributor. And if I uncheck this, it will not be
Mm-hmm.
visible here when I click on new. Only if I check this, it will be
Okay.
active. And description will be to uh, track distributor details. There is something called these are profiles, but you'll tend to know what profiles are once you we discuss about security. But for now, since I'm a system administrator, my user is system administrator. I'm giving this to only system administrator for demo purpose, and I'm proceeding further. So record type and page layout work hand in hand. Like this record type cannot exist without a page layout. Clear till this point?
Okay.
Because
Mm-hmm.
this is a page layout. Okay, this is a page layout,
Mm-hmm.
and this is a place where you want to show some fields for someone and show some other set of fields for
Mm-hmm.
other one.
Yeah.
So if you have such kind of use case, typically you'll be creating
Mm-hmm.
three different page layouts and three different record types, and based on record type you choose, you're going to see three different set of data for three different set of persons. Okay,
Okay.
so now I am tagging the existing account layout for this record type called distributor, and I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saving the record. Now now that I have one record type called distributor which is tagged to this account layout, now I'm going to create a new layout
Mm-hmm.
by the name called retailer. It's just if you choose this template, right, whatever you have
Mm-hmm.
configured the fields on the account layout, the new
Mm-hmm.
layout would be coming up with the same fields already added to the layout.
Okay.
If I'm going to
Okay.
select as none, it will be a brand new layout and I have to configure it right from the start. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm creating a retailer layout and I'm going to save this. When you see this, it's only the mandatory fields are coming. The rest of the fields you have to
Mm-hmm.
configure. Had I choose the
Oh,
template as account layout, everything would have been pre-populated. So for the
okay.
retailer, I only want account name, phone number, okay, customer ID, is he active or not, and phone.
Mm-hmm.
I want only these details to be shown when I'm going to create a retailer record. Save, done.
Okay.
Third option will not be considering right now. Only assume we want to track two different types of data for two different person with which
Okay.
I'm going to do a business. So I've created a record type for distributor, and I have
Mm-hmm.
created a record type. I'm going to create a record type for, like, since I've already created distributor, it is same like how this record
Mm-hmm.
type. Do I want to
Okay.
apply the same set of settings like distributor, or
Mm-hmm.
I would like to design a whole new record type.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm going to create a retailer record type and choose this as active.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier, if you have seen, the active is it came by default because
Mm-hmm.
each and every object should have at least one record type. When you're going to create
Yeah.
one, that's the first one, because
Mm-hmm.
the master would be gone because you are overriding it. Clear or any
Mm-hmm.
doubt? If you do not create any record type, master would be the default
Mm-hmm.
record type. But if you're trying to
Okay.
create a one, means you are overriding the master, and
Oh,
that is the only one record type you're going to have on the record.
okay.
Okay, so now I choose this as active, and since I'm a system administrator, I want only this record type to be shown to him. And now for the retailer, I have configured some set of fields in this retailer page layout.
Mm-hmm.
So I choose this page layout called retailer here, save the record, I clicked on save twice. But now if you see, there are two record types, distributor and retailer.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier,
Okay.
when I used to create new right on accounts, I could actually see only this screen, right? Now,
Yes.
now I reload the page and let's see what's going to happen now. So see, now it is telling me to choose what record type
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to create, distributor or retailer. If I'm going to create a distributor account, these are the fields.
Okay.
If I'm going to create a retailer account, these are the fields.
Only two. Okay.
These
Two
are,
fields. Two or three fields.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So me creating a retailer account will no way impact a distributor account.
Mm-hmm.
The issue was, see, I have a customer ID for retailer, and for distributor, I don't want to see that. I have a different field called distributor ID, not the customer ID.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason you'll be creating two page layouts and assign different record types for him for those two page layouts and try to access it.
Mm-hmm.
So this you call it as record type. This you call it as a record type,
Okay.
and it is through record type you access a page layout. Record type by itself is an orphan, like it cannot live by itself. You always have to assign
Okay.
a page layout. Only then a record type is of some meaning, and it's a
Okay.
mandatory thing to do that. Because right,
Yeah. Actually.
if I select new and there is no page layout assigned to this, then what comes here? A blank page. No me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're trying to ask some question.
Yeah, we have added some field to retail type, right?
Yes.
In page layout.
Yes.
Does this affect in distributor layout like fields? D-
No. No.
no.
Because
Okay.
when I create a distributor record, right, it will only hold
Mm-hmm.
those set of values it require.
Mm-hmm.
And the other advantage was, see, the customer ID field might not exist here, but I'll just show you one more difference with the page layouts and the record types. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
record types, sorry, page layouts. This is the distributor record page layout,
Okay.
and this does
Mm-hmm.
not have customer ID. I assume I have put this for some reason. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now on the distributor, for distributors, the customer ID I don't want to be mandatory field, and
Mm-hmm.
for retailers I want it to be mandatory field.
Okay.
So what I'll be
We can
doing,
edit that, is it?
I'll
Okay.
do this here,
Yeah.
make it required
Mm.
and save.
Okay.
Now when I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to create, first I have to reload the page. Each and every time you make some configuration changes, you have to reload the page. So now I'm going to create a new distributor. The customer ID field
Mm-hmm.
is added to the layout. It is not mandatory here. Like I can save the record,
Oh, yeah.
just giving the account name.
Okay.
But this is not going to be a case with retailer, because for retailer I
Yeah.
made it a
It is a mandatory field.
mandatory field.
Yeah.
See,
Mm.
just giving the account name will not allow me to save the record. So
Yeah.
this was made happen only because of page layouts and record types. Because
Okay.
for distributor and retailer, if
Mm-hmm.
using if I'm going to use the same layout, if I make a
Mm-hmm.
field mandatory, it is mandatory for both. But
Okay.
for one particular kind of data, I want some fields to be mandatory and some fields I don't want to be mandatory. I can do it through record types and page layouts. So
Okay.
hope you have understood this concept. Record type is nothing but what you
Yeah.
see here is called record type.
Mm-hmm.
What you're going to see
Mm-hmm.
here is a page layout. So you
Yes.
create a
Okay.
page layout and assign
Mm-hmm.
it to a record type so that you can hold different kinds of data within account
Mm-hmm.
the same way.
Okay.
Okay, just to give one more better example, right? I'll give you
Mm-hmm.
an example of a hospital. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I am doing a medicinal business, and my customers are hospitals. My
Mm-hmm.
customers are patients. My customers are medical representatives. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
three different persons doing three different things. Not everyone would be
Okay.
doing the same thing, right? Patients, they'll come up for a specific medicine, and
Mm-hmm.
they go away. Hospitals, they come for different kinds of medicine. They take an order in bulk and they leave. And
Mm-hmm.
medical
Mm-hmm.
representatives, they collect medicine from him, from
Mm-hmm.
me, and they brand outside
Mm-hmm.
and sell my medicines. So medical
Yeah.
representatives are selling my medicines.
Mm-hmm.
Hospitals are consuming my medicines directly or indirectly, and patients
Mm-hmm.
are buying my medicines. So three different activities, and
Yes.
for three different activities, you might require three different fields. Like if you have a single record type or single layout, your
Mm-hmm.
business, like uh, see, I have uh, take a case of medical reps. I
Mm-hmm.
need a field for medical apps that how many medicines I've sold to him, and
Mm-hmm.
what profit I get by selling those
Mm-hmm.
medicines,
Okay.
because he'll be selling, and what companies he's dealing with,
Okay.
because I also want to know to whom he's selling, and there could be more than
Mm-hmm.
one. And the same, these three set of fields would not make sense if
Mm-hmm.
it appears in the patient layout, because they are not going to resell my medicines to someone. They directly consume it.
Yeah.
So if you have a
Okay.
single layout, all these fields would appear,
Mm-hmm.
either they want or they don't want, either it applies
Mm-hmm.
for them or it does not apply. It
Mm-hmm.
You can see these fields for all three persons. So that is the
Oh,
advantage of page layouts and record types, where you could confine your business to only based on the requirement, very specific requirement.
okay.
Any questions or doubt around the page layouts and record types?
No, actually,
Hmm.
what is the difference between like we can segregate these sections by selection as well, right? In
What
page
do you
layout.
mean by selections?
Sorry.
What do you mean by selections?
Like selection or
Okay.
section or selection in page
Okay,
layouts.
you have a section. So what I
Yeah,
do by
section.
section, instead of placing this field here, you place it here
Mm-hmm.
through sections. But
Mm-hmm.
the field is still visible, right?
Yes.
So
Okay.
see, I have created a new field called profit. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so or sales margin, right? I'll just show you. Okay, assume I am going to create a new field called, which is currency,
Mm-hmm.
and which is called seller margin,
Mm-hmm.
and decimals. I can give 16 to all, like two decimals and 16 before that. Next, and here I added this field to all the layouts. Okay, you can see
Mm-hmm.
this field in retailer, you can see it in the normal account as well,
Account. Yeah.
which is the
Mm-hmm.
distributor account.
Yeah.
Okay, so seller margin field is actually going to hold the value which I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
offer to my distributor out of my
Mm-hmm.
for helping me to do my business.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm directly dealing with customer, right, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to offer a margin to him. Like I'm not giving
Yeah.
trying to give a cashback. No shop will ever
Okay.
give you a cashback directly when you visit to buy a TV, right?
Yes. Yes.
Right. Now I'm going to create. Now I'm going to see. Now I'm going to create a distributor account. So I gave margin because he's helping me with my business. I'll give him seller margin as 300. It will
Mm-hmm.
be stored as $300 because my country margin, my currency is in dollars. If I have INR, it will show the same.
Mm-hmm.
Good with the distributor. Now I am going to create a record for retailer. Okay. Seller margin
Mm-hmm.
will make no sense because I'm not going to give him any margin for doing business with me.
Yes.
If I
Okay.
if I go by your statement, if I
Mm-hmm.
go to this retailer layout, I create a new section. For creating a section, I drag and drop it here. New section, I'll leave the name here, and seller margin I'll place it here. So this does
Mm-hmm.
not mean that the field is hidden to the user. It's just that it appears on a new
Yeah,
section.
it is visible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something which is
okay.
not
Got it.
required for him, you're still showing it to him.
Yes, yes. Okay.
The sections are more to segregate the fields, like up and down. You move some fields and all. That is sections.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
these record types and all were to segregate your business functioning. Huh? This segregation
Okay.
is more on the business side.
Mm-hmm.
So if
Okay.
yeah, so your business does different activities and deal with different kinds of persons. So you
Mm-hmm.
segregate your business. If you have like if your company is dealing with different persons, you segregate that business and you define it accordingly, whatever you want. As
Mm-hmm.
like our previous
Okay.
example, my accounts can be patients are like I'm going to hold different detail for patient. And
Mm-hmm.
if my account is a see I am a Apollo hospital, okay.
Mm-hmm.
My application is Apollo hospitals, and I
Mm-hmm.
have accounts of doctors, patients, and
Mm-hmm.
nurses as well, okay. For
Mm-hmm.
patients, I would like to track an information called disease, because that's how I know what disease is coming from. For doctors, I'm not
Yeah.
going to track this disease field, because he's not coming for disease, he's going to treat. So I'm going to track a field called specialization,
Mm-hmm.
like ENT doctor or a surgeon or a MBBS doctor or a RMP,
Okay.
because that is more relevant to the doctor. Like if you give the specialization to the patient, it is not relevant, because he's coming for a
Yeah.
disease, not to cure. And for
Yeah.
nurses, yeah, again they have different nurses can be a lab technician, nurses can be a assistant surgeon, nurses can be different thing. You cannot give assistant surgeon field to the patient layout. True.
Yeah. Okay.
So when you're trying to reutilize only the account differently for
Mm-hmm.
three different personas, that's when
Mm-hmm.
you create record types and start using the page layouts in hand with these record types.
Okay.
I hope
Now I got it. Yeah.
yeah. So we have seen what is page layouts, we have seen what is record types. There is one more added
Mm-hmm.
advantage of record types. What that
Mm-hmm.
was, you can control the pick list values through the record types. So pick list
Mm-hmm.
is nothing but a field which can have more than one value. We have discussed in the previous session, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have. I'm not finding. I'm not finding a pick list field here. Let me see. Okay, type is a pick list field. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So for some record types, I want only some pick list values to be available, and for some, I don't want to appear some pick list values. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'll be doing is I'll go to record types. I'll select this record type, and for the pick list called type, I want only few values to be available, like channel. Only these two pick list values I would like to appear for distributor record type. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I can also choose default is by default type is holding no value here, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you see, it is blank. But if I
Yeah.
want a default record type, default pick list value, I can select that one as well, like here, customer direct, among the selected values.
Okay.
Save. Now what happens here? I reload the page. Okay. I come to details, I come to type, Probably this is not distributor or what. So, uh, do you see any problem right now? Because I have my accounts. The accounts can be record
Mhm.
type of record type distributor or retailer. I'm not
Okay.
going to realize what this record type is because I have created, like, when I create it is showing me distributor and retailer. By that
Mhm.
I knew that what I'm creating. But after I've created, there is no
Mhm.
such thing called record type where I could uniquely identify this as a distributor or retailer, right?
Oh, yeah.
So what you have to do is, to the layout called this account layout which has been given for distributor, you add the field called record type name, account record type, sorry.
Mm.
Okay, this way when you open a record, you'll tend to know what record type it belongs to. Because the issue is I have given some pick list values for distributor. I'm not seeing it yet, so I just want to confirm if it is a distributor record type or some other record type, retailer record type.
Mhm.
I'm not able to realize it because I haven't added that field called record type here yet.
Yeah.
So now I added it. I have saved that, and now if I come back, it will show me what is this record type: patient, physician, doctor, or whatever, distributor, retailer. So since when I have created this record, right, I haven't created any record types. See,
Mhm.
record type is something which I have created only today, right? On 27/8,
Mm.
but this record has been created on 15/8.
Mm.
So when initially when I clicked on new on the account, right, no, there are no record
Mhm.
types.
Mhm.
That's the reason record type is blank here. But if I go to some other record type like ert, uh, yeah, you can see the record type as distributor because after I have added the
Mm.
record types, I have created this record. That's the reason I could see the record type name here.
Mm.
Okay. Now, now what we are going trying to see is the pick list values:
Yes.
prospect, customer direct, other. Although distributor initially the record type called distributor used to have more values. Like for the type field earlier, all the values are configured for this record type.
Yes.
Now since I've configured
Yeah.
only these three are appearing.
Yeah.
Similarly, for other record type called retailer, I can control the values for pick lists. It is showing me these are the pick list fields on the account, and I can control
Mhm.
the values which I am going to show. Like I don't want to show this value, I want to show only these two, I can show. Okay,
Mm.
so to summarize, like the whole session, what we have discussed today, we have discussed about,
Mhm.
first thing was we discussed about object tracking, sorry, reporting, allow reports on the object. Through that permission only, I
Mhm.
can report or summarize the data on an object. Then we have seen allow
Okay.
activities. Through if we give that permission
Activity.
on the
Yeah.
object, we can log a call, task, create a task, event,
Mhm.
and all, do an event or send an email.
Yeah.
And then we have seen
Okay.
field tracking. So using field tracking,
Yeah.
we can actually see what changes have been made to my records across what fields
Mhm.
and who has made
Mhm.
it and when they have done that.
Okay.
And then we came into something called this record types and page layout. So the main advantage
Yes.
of record types and page layouts are you can see, like, you can show different set of fields for different
Mhm.
personas, capture the data as required. That
Yeah.
is one main advantage. The second advantage of the record types and page layout was you can control the
Mhm.
pick list values which you are going to show on the layout,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
we
Mm.
did here.
Yeah.
I am restricting three values and only showing three. So through it
Yes.
is only because I have a record type called retailer.
Mhm.
If I don't have that record type, all the values will be shown
Mhm. Mm.
unless they are deactivated. Like uh, the other way around was, if you don't want a pick list value to be shown, the other way around was to deactivate that value.
Okay.
If you deactivate here, you cannot see that value in this drop down. But the problem was this value would not be shown for anyone. But if you want to
Mhm.
show this value for account type retailer, and if you don't want to show this value for distributor, it is through record types you can control. Like showing, see, if you deactivate, it is all or none. Like it will be displayed for everyone or it will show for none. But if you
Mhm.
want to show this value only for one person, and if you don't want to show it for another person, you create a record type and configure what to show to only that person and remove that value for other person to whom you do not want it to be shown.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yes.
Okay. I think we can stop here on
Mhm.
the page layouts and record types, and
Okay.
you can revise this out and come back with any questions.
Yeah. Okay. Actually,
Hmm.
last two sections, your voice was not visible. I mean, like not audible
Yeah,
to
yeah. The
me.
problem was
Why?
I'm not recording that mic. When I actually deliver the session, I
Okay.
record my mic, and
Okay.
when actually Karthik is speaking, right, I only record
Yes.
system audio.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
make sure
Okay.
I record my mic as well because I'll be posting some questions, right?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Sure, sure. I'll do that as well.
Yeah. Okay. Today is good, right? I mean, like you recorded everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
If you want more, I can do that as well, but I don't want things to overlap.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Can you share me this record
Yeah,
section?
I'll
I'll go through it again.
sure, sure. I'll
Yeah.
do it within next half an hour or so because it take
Okay.
time. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.